Hello, it's Bart from Shatter Gang. Right at the beginning of this video, I'd like to point out that this whole YouTube thing, videos, is not really my thing. And this video probably wouldn't be the best quality either, but it's all about the content. I would like to clarify or just comment on a couple of the things from Cruise Herts event and the incident that happened there. Because quite frankly, you can see quite a lot of comments and opinions going around the internet, and they just piss me off. Because we have a common passion, which are cars, modified cars, car events, and yet everyone, okay, not everyone, but a lot of people are very quick to chuck blames at different parties, and I just don't think it's quite fair. And at this point, we should be more united than ever and supporting each other instead of doing what I've witnessed going on social media and news outlets, but more on that later. Also at this point, I'd like to point out and clarify that this video is really not made to gain a few followers, etc. Honestly, if you never heard of Shatter Gang before, if you never followed us before, don't subscribe to our channel. Just watch this video and take as much out of it as possible, because I just really want to get to some people who I see acting quite disrespectful. I really don't care about a couple followers that we can gain from it, honestly, just forget about it. So for these people who actually don't know what happened, there was a car event in Hertfordshire last night, and unfortunately a great tragedy happened. From what I've seen in the video, it appears to one car pulling on another one which was speeding and ploughing into the crowd. And now you would ask, who's there to blame? And that's where the fun begins, because some people blame the drivers of either the cars, some people blame the bystanders, and some people even blame the event organisers. My answer to this question is that none of us should judge. It's not my place to judge, and neither is yours to decide. I'm sure the police or other authorities are working really hard to work out what happened and who really caused the accident. And just because you've seen the video and you might think what happened, just because your dad's cousin's friend's neighbour works for an insurance company, that doesn't give you a right to judge and to go on social media and drag people through the mud. Personally, I think that everyone in this video could be potentially blamed for what happened. You know, you could easily argue that one of the guys in the 350Z, he shouldn't be speeding. The other guy in GTA 6, he shouldn't be pulling out if he couldn't see properly. But then also bystanders shouldn't be blocking the way, and they don't just block the way, they also fuel the reckless behaviour and reckless driving. And you could argue as far as saying the person who recorded this video was there to blame too, because this is exactly what makes people lose their mind and drive even more like absolute dickheads per se. But then again, just because it happened and there's an evidence of it happening, we shouldn't be judging everyone for what they've done, because one, I'm sure no one's done it on purpose. Two, I'm pretty sure most of the people who chuck these accusations have done it themselves, and you know, I've done it. We've all been there. We either watch people speeding or we broke the speed limit ourselves. So it's really unfair to comment if you're responsible yourself. I've also seen people judging or putting the blame, is the better way to put it, putting the blame on event organisers, the Cruise Herts team. I think that that's an absolute bullshit if you do that. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how this sort of looks from the legal point of view. And you have to remember that no matter how hard you try as an event organiser, and I'm telling you this from experience, no matter how hard you try and you tell people that this is a static meet, people will always fuck around. And I'm not talking about the majority here, because majority behave very well. As our last meet in Bedford proved, it can be done. I myself felt like a proud dad when I've seen people not messing around at our event, but it's just super difficult. And I don't really know Cruise Herts that well. I don't know what the agenda is, but I've seen some posts from them and I've seen them begging people, just like we do, just like Shatter Gang does, and they ask people not to mess around, and they highlight that this is a purely static event. And what people do, they go straight out and mess around, thinking they're invincible in a way, or they think it's a GTA and they got God mode on. But why? Does it make your balls bigger? I really don't know. I like fast cars myself, but you have to have a little bit of imagination, and you need to know the right time and place. I know it's easier said than done, but you have to try and do your best. And earlier today, I've already released a short statement on behalf of Shuttergang, myself and my team, about judging and spreading the fake news. And a lot of you agreed with it, but what I find very ironic is that people went down to the comment sections and they agreed and went straight into judging people and again trying to put the blame on someone. I really don't think it's time to do it. I mean, at least let people recover. Come on, like just give people a little bit of break. I mean, I'm sure they know they fucked up, all of them, and you don't have to remind them about this right now. Similarly, no one gives a shit about your stupid opinion that's based on the video you saw, and you probably even haven't been there, and you haven't seen the scale of the tragedy. And again, I haven't been there myself, so I can't judge either. But what upsets me probably the most in this whole situation, it's not just the normal people, you know, just the people who attend the car meets, checking these accusations and turning into events management graduates from University of Facebook. You have all these comments coming from other car clubs owners, and I think that these people should be the very last people to judge. These people should understand the most how difficult it is to run a successful event, and they should understand that you can't control everyone. And like I said earlier, this should be the time when we are united the most out of all the situations, out of all the times. You might say that Shuttergang isn't the biggest team player because we have our own agenda and our own way of running the stuff, but we have to remember we are all running this for the car scene, for the people of car scene, and dividing it and throwing smart comments that are not going to help anyone. If anything, this is going to make things worse. It will be much more difficult to host an event like this. That's one of the reasons why our events are less frequent. People have misbehaved previously and we were not willing to take the risk associated with it. So I already talked about what upsets me about this whole situation and my views on it. But now I want to talk about what disgusts me about this whole situation, right? And that's the attitude of the so-called news outlets, such as Daily Fail Mail, for example. First thing in the morning that I woke up to was the Daily Mail article shared by thousands of people, not just the car people, just people in general. It's just a very clickbaity headlines which were not even true. I'm not going to go and analyse the whole article because it's all, quite frankly, bullshit for which they should apologise. Not to me, not to the car scene, but especially the victims. And I'm talking about the drivers here because they are the victims themselves. Controversial? Maybe. I don't care. But let me use the example of the GT86 with the roof cut off. So quite obviously the person in the GT86 was jammed and the roof was cut off by fire brigade, and you could really see it in the photo that the roof has been cut off. It wasn't squished, it was cut off. And the headline they used was, pictures taken this morning show the black car believed to be Toyota had its roof completely ripped off. What? It didn't have the roof ripped off, it had the roof cut off. And it makes a great difference, especially if you haven't been there or if you haven't been up to date last night. If you are just a normal Joe who doesn't care about car events, you'll think, wow, what has gone on there? Boy racers, stupid, ban all car meets, dangerous. And that's really not cool. Obviously, I'm sorry if I offend anyone here, but Daily Mail readers, they're not the most intelligent people. I mean, if you believe what Daily Mail says, then you might as well email myself about my uncle in Nigeria who's got £5 billion locked up, but he needs 5 grand first. So if you send me the money, you get a cut of the 5 billion, you know, emails below. But it's just the cheek of Daily Mail here as well. So going onwards, I really suggest that you go and unfollow Daily Mail and you just block it from your news feed. I don't know how many people watch this video. It might be a couple hundred, it might be a couple thousand people, and for them it wouldn't be exactly matched, but you know, they stepped on our toes, the car people right now. But who's going to be next? It could be any other community. It could be professional drivers, Uber drivers. And you know, if every group which has been hurt by Daily Mail follows and does the same, they will finally end up with no followers, and therefore they will have no source and income as well, because the advertisers just won't go for it. So it'll be the end of it. They just need to understand that they can't do stuff like this, and I'm just currently waiting for the Sun and the Lard Bible to go and follow and create an article with equally shitty headlines. And just quickly to finish and to summarize, I don't mean to attack any individual people or groups or brands in this video at all. I just want people to reflect a little bit on their actions and what they're doing, because it has much greater effects on individuals and the whole scene than you think. And let me stress, this is a tragedy. This isn't just an accident, this is a disaster. So let this tragedy teach us for the future, and especially people who come to events and they create quite a lot of mess. I really hope that this has sort of played on your imagination at least a tiny bit, so you don't do it in the future. And same with bystanders, just please don't fuel it. If you see cars racing around, I know it is quite difficult, you all want to see the nice exhaust and fast cars, but if you do it, you have to accept it, that you're doing it at your own risk. We have our own event next month, I believe it's the 18th of August. It will be on private land, the Cheltenham Racecourse. And I'm telling you now, if you will fuck around, if you will create dangerous situations at this event, you will get kicked out right away from that event. And I do not care how nice your car is. I don't care how many followers you've got and how much you're going to slag me in the internet. I really don't care. Safety comes first and you will be out. And that is really it. That's what I wanted to say. I don't know, I probably assumed quite a lot of people will hate me for it. Some people might agree, but I really hope that this video made you think at least a little bit about what's going on, and I hope that you will stay safe at the future car events, whether it's the Shutter Gang event, whether it's event that 5 people attend. Be safe, please be safe.